sacrificing my time to get a hold of you. Pull me close, magnetic.
When the ting went, you man were ducking. Finish. Take man's tricks by force. Send man shot by force. The girl knows I got the sauce. Flexing. No ketchup. None. Just sauce. Saucy. Raw sauce. Yo. Boom. Ah. The ting goes. And the. And the. Boom. 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 You don't know. The ting goes. And the. And the. And the. Boom, 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 boom. You don't know. When the ting went, you man were ducking. When the ting went, crack, 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 you man were ducking. Yo, boom, yo, boom. You don't know. The sauce, saucy, raw sauce. When the ting went, you man were ducking. The ting goes and the and the and the boom 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 boom. The you man were ducking. The ting goes. Send man shot by force. Your girl knows I got the sauce. No ketchup, just sauce. Raw sauce. Yo, boom. The ting goes and the and the boom boom. You don't know. The ting goes.
Hello, hello. We are live. Can you guys hear me? I think all good. Yes. Oh my God, it's been a while. I haven't streamed in like a month. It's been a nice break. As you can see, I'm not in my usual studio in Dubai. But I have to say, like, yeah, I've missed it. I've missed it. And honestly, it's thanks to Ifshita that came up and asked me if I wanted to do a stream and talk about events and how to host and the IRL economy and everything that we've been doing. And you know what? I thought, let's do it. Let's do it. I have my gear with me. I literally, I travel with like cameras and I'm like dedicated, but yeah, this is the first time I'm back on. So I'm like super excited actually. And I see Jumi's in the chat. Hey girl, we have some of the babes here with us. So yeah, I'm super happy that you asked me and I'm really excited to have you here. As you know, our streams are super chill. We always talk about interesting things, and I have the best guests that come on. And today, our babe is also joining me to talk about events, and we have a lot to discuss. And I'm just gonna give you the mic a little bit so that you can introduce yourself and like everything that you've been doing. I'm sure a lot of the girls know you, but definitely, yeah, just a few lines on like what you've been doing at Hype, for the people that don't know you, and then yeah, and then we can kick it off. I think we have I think we're having just a sound issue. Give me one sec. Okay. No, I think it's from my on my side. Just give me one sec. We're gonna fix it. Always happens. Mm. Just because I switched. Grace can only hear me. It's back. Let's see. So you guys can hear me, but not. I'm not a lady, sadly. God. Let's see. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear both of us? Who can you hear? I see. It's always good to have the chat help us when this happens. Try talking. No, I think it's on your end. Wait, maybe we can fix it. Uh, Give me one sec. Yeah, I can't hear. Just Cam. Thanks for your help, everybody. We're gonna figure this out. It's probably on my end. I've been traveling and I forgot the cable for my usual AirPods, and so we're having to like switch.
Hear me. So let's see.
It worked before though. Let's see. We're gonna make this work. Yeah. So it has to go through this. Ah, now they can hear you. Ah, yes. Try. Yeah. Okay, you can now you can hear. Perfect. Yeah, I think we're good. Heard. Ah, they're saying they heard you for a second. Oh my god. This is like, it's all right. This is like classic live streaming. It's just okay, so you guys not anymore. Oh my god. This is like, oh, it's like this. Oh. Okay.
Okay. Shoot. I mean, it does say on air to me, but I'm wondering, do you see my video or
Yeah,
is it
yeah.
just the audio?
No, your video is like I can hear you, but I guess it's not going through. Let's try. Try to speak now. I think you should be able. They should be able to hear you.
All right. If you can hear me, comment with your favorite emoji.
Ah, there. Yes, fixed. Okay, good. Okay, we're so back. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for your support. Yeah, we made it. We made it. Oh, yeah, it's been a while, guys. Like,
It's a European summer.
yeah, exactly.
Flagging.
It's hot, but no, we're here. Thanks, and also like super nice to see you guys, like Grace and Mr. E and everybody that's in Nico. Thanks for your help, everybody. Like, we wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. The chat is honestly king here. Like, you guys are the best. This said, I think, well, I don't know how much you guys heard, but I think you might have to just go over a little bit on over. Like, we can start from the beginning. Let's just like restart. So tell us what you do, who you are.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ipshita. I'm the VP of Brand Innovation at Hype. We're one of the leading crypto marketing agency in the industry. We've been around since 2017. I've been around with Hype for 5 years. I will complete my 5th year this year. I started spearheading the events department 3 years ago. Before that, I used to spearhead the NFT department and the Metaverse Studio. It feels like a different life, so I don't want to dive too much into it. But yeah, over the last 3 years, my role has been putting Hype on the IRL map. So everything that you've seen us as an agency do at conferences has been the beautiful work of my team. And it's interesting because we first started off as, you know, like the events department for Hype. And then we started experimenting with different formats and just different ways of how we wanted to do IRL. And our prospective clients and existing clients saw the work we were doing, and it very quickly became like an internal department to like a service department. So clients started coming to us and saying, hey, we absolutely love what you're doing with your events. Can you do the same thing for our brand? Help us understand how we should show up at different conferences. And the team grew up from there. And yeah, I couldn't have been happier to be doing what I'm doing, because events is something that I love. It's very dear to me. And here I am.
Yeah, and I also, by the way, oh, we have Cheryl in the chat. Hey, Foxy, girl. So nice to see all the babes. Yeah, and you know, like, I've seen your events. Like, you've been hosting some beautiful, beautiful experiences for clients. And, you know, there's really a certain touch that, you know, comes through when you look at especially like pictures. And I'm sure that people that do attend them will feel in a certain way. And I thought like, wow, this is like really cool. And, you know, crypto tends to have like, you know, the bar is pretty low, right? So you instantly notice when someone's doing something good. And then I saw on your LinkedIn that we went to the same university, and I was like, this is it. This makes sense.
Where the background comes from, but honestly, I'm shocked. I felt like for the longest time, I felt I was the only person who came from a hospitality background. A lot of times, I would even tell them, "Oh yeah, I used to come from like hotels and resorts, and this is something that we did all the time." Like a lot of people would not relate to me, and then when you said, babe, did you go to Lyon as well? I'm like, yeah, did you? You're like the only person who knows the university in my background.
There's a few of us. We're hiding here and there. By the way, for those that are here, like, so Ipshita and I went to the same uni. So we went to a hospitality management uni. You did a course in Marbella, and then you came to the same, and then you came to mine for your master's, right? Which is in
Yes, I
Switzerland.
did my bachelor's in Marbella, worked around like Dubai for a bit, Barcelona, and then back then I was like also running my own startup, and it had to do with again events and hospitality as well. And Lyon offered me a scholarship, and I was like, let's do a master's. And it was COVID, so I couldn't do it on campus, so I had to do everything virtually. But you know, still feel the Lyon spirit every now and then.
Oh, so you didn't. Oh, that's so okay. Still nice, but you
But
have to
not like
visit.
a real
I mean,
experience.
at least you've done Les Roches, at least you've done your BBA, and I feel like those kind of unis, and also it's really nice that you've been there and you've experienced this, because I feel that like going to a university that really makes sure that they curate the way that people interact. It's really a community. It feels very it's like a boarding school slash university. And the thing is, these unis, they teach you how to create a community that lasts. Like they have a very strong alumni
Yeah,
presence and network, and it's something that throughout. I mean, it's been years that we graduated, but still today, there's really that link that whenever you meet someone that like has been to that uni, there's that common thread, and straight away you can connect. And you know, it's a really nice thing that they did and they managed to do. Same thing for like Les Roches and Lyon. Like these unis really created this sense of community, and it's lasting throughout years. And we can see there's alumni that, you know, maybe have graduated even like 10 years before us that are still connected and participating in the network, whether they are working in the hospitality sector or like any adjacent, you know, like industries. For example, I after uni, I got hired by Bloomberg, and I got, you know, I moved to London and I worked in tech, basically in fintech. And then after that, I joined the early stage startup. We built a community, launched, you know, the platform, was doing everything because, you know, like startups are crazy. And I
yeah,
kind of did it the other way around. I started an AI startup, and then I joined crypto in 2021.
interesting.
Yeah, and same thing, like building communities, doing launches, growth. And my favorite part has always been like the people part, like really, of course, like
Yeah.
making beautiful things, like beautiful content that speaks to people, but really working with like a brand and growing it and making sure like people resonate behind, because there's always going to be people behind everything you do. And now with BabesNet, we're doing so many events, and I feel that I finally get to really put out the hospitality, you know, it's like the hospitality hat comes back. It's coming full circle of like really growing the community and creating beautiful experiences for people that I also genuinely enjoy going and attending. So yeah.
I feel like a lot of people that I speak to, they will say something like, "Oh, I don't want to talk about university." They are not very. I feel like they don't openly talk about where they went to school, but I feel so proud about where I went to school, because um, everything that I learned, everything that I bring today to whether that's to Hype or to my life, I give so much credit to the alumni network and everything that I learned in university. And also when it comes down to actually executing work, um, the entire network is like a phone call away. And if we're hosting an event in Paris, it's like I go through my alumni list. I'm like, oh, hey, I have a friend who works as an F&B director at the Renaissance. I would give her a call. I'm like, hey, do you remember me? I would love to host an event for this brand. And it's just opens doors. And I feel like that is such a superpower that hospitality graduates own, is the alumni network. And now you're seeing this with BabesNet as well. So I I feel really blessed to have that support, which I don't ever get to speak about because not a lot of people understand. But it's a very helpful network of people that helps me do what I do today and make it look very easy.
I know, and it's that thing, right? Like especially when it comes to like sourcing locations of places, we get, you know, it's so useful to know people that work at places. You get friends and family discounts, like they'll treat you better. You know, it's just like it makes everything so much easier. And I would say like personally, it's been really nice to start doing more events. Like even before BabesNet, like we've organized some experiences and like some events, but it wasn't at this scale where this is kind of like the IRL is really what is like motivating the community to come together and makes everything real, even though we live on Telegram and we have all the whole digital side of things. At least now I feel like, oh, if I want to host an event, like I can just message people and, you know, it's finally useful again, besides obviously friends and you know, it just makes it really feels like it's coming full circle, and I just love it, and I love hosting things, and I feel there's so much we can do, and that's why I've been like really excited with BaseNet to, you know, there's so much, you know, there's so much possibilities when it comes to experiences. And also the thing is right now, especially in tech, being able to host, not just in tech, but especially in tech, the ability to bring people together and to create experiences for people to connect and network in a different way is something that is really valuable. I feel like we're moving away from the boring static cocktail events. People are people
Like,
in whatever role you're in. People still want quality. Like we've done, especially if you've been in the industry, whatever industry you're in, like if you've been around for some time, like you've done the conferences, you've done the shitty ones, you've done the boring events with the bad food, and oftentimes you will have a better experience of connecting with people if the environment is set up for you to do so, if it's curated, if the guest list is proper. And yeah, Max is saying all the bros wish they were babes so they could attend babes net event.
100%.
Yeah, no, that's you cannot even imagine. So about the guest list, like every time we do an event, I'm literally wasting half a day, like no joke, going on the people that try to attend and join. Like people go to great lengths to attend BabesNet events. They will literally create fake profiles. I'll find like Romina wants to join, you know, the BabesNet brunch in Cannes, for example, that we did. And then I click on their LinkedIn and their name is Romain. So, you know, it's like,
No,
yeah, there's a lot.
surprise at the same time.
Yeah. It's a lot. So, what's your? So obviously, you've been doing this for quite some time. What is your favorite type of event to host, and like, what do you think makes an event like special that you feel that you're like really excited to be part of? Like, there's obviously certain things besides the location, but there's certain things that are hard to teach, I think, and you know, we can obviously go into the whole taste conversation, but I just wanted to hear from your perspective, like what is it that makes an event like good, successful these days, as opposed to not? Because obviously we're dealing with metrics as well when we're organizing for clients. There's a lot of numbers that we need to provide, and there's vibes that, you know, can be experienced, but they're hard to quantify. So I was wondering, yeah, how do you manage like the, let's say, the report, like what makes a really successful event for you?
I think the biggest mistake that we do is we try to compare everything experiential to the same metrics that we would do with everything else in marketing. And I think that just sets us up for failure. Events are not going to convert like paid ads. So why are we trying to look at it with the same lens? For me personally, when I'm going to any gathering, whether that's a gathering that a friend is inviting me to or a company is putting together, or it's a big festival, I like to think about how are all my senses being engaged. So sight, smell, taste, sound, all of those, touch, and what are the brands or what is the host in this case doing to engage all my senses. And I feel like if you can engage anywhere between 2 to 3 senses at the same time, you've basically created a really memorable experience for people. um, and I think if crypto brands were to think from that angle, it would already get them, I think, 10 steps ahead of what they're doing at the moment. But yeah, I think we always come down to talking about ROI, and my leadership team is no different. I get asked the same question, and at the same time, even like with the clients that we're working with. And then I think it's interesting to define it. That is, either you're trying to optimize for leads, that is, you're trying to get your brand in front of people that you want to convert for your direct business, or you're trying to optimize for just presence. And then, for example, in this case, like having like share of voice or like social takeover, etc. So you can try to do both, but then you have to be very clear what's like your top priority. If it's something like leads, then we would focus on something a lot more intimate. Try to cap it at however many people you can basically entertain. So if you're a brand and you have 4 representatives at any given conference, then I'd say every person can meaningfully engage with no more than 4 to 5 people at an event, meaningfully, right, over 2 hours. So I would really cap it at 4 times the number of team members you have, and make that like a close-knit intimate event. If you're trying to do something for getting logo placement, eyeballs, making sure that you have a timeline takeover, then you're basically focusing a lot more on aesthetics, and like the visual element, the sound element, the food element as well, so that people can just kind of be wowed the moment they enter. They want to bring their phones out of their pockets. They want to immediately capture content. So it really depends on what you're trying to optimize for. I do think it's hard to do it for both at the same time. And I think that's where we try to work with the people that we are working with to define that for them.
Yeah, it's true. Like you cannot. That's one thing. Like you cannot be physically there for like the whole thing. Like it's also you won't have the energy at some point, and it's better to have good interactions with people than like half baked, conversations where you're just distracted. You're gonna end up losing. It's gonna end up costing you like way more than like what you put in if you don't really go all the way and you settle for one piece. But we have yeah, Foxy's saying babes also get free tickets for conferences. Yeah, we try to do that. We try to honestly, like whenever I can, like we try to contact like all the main events and try to make sure that we can have access to this. I think it's important to just give access and opportunities to all the girls. Like sometimes these conference tickets are really pricey, and if you're going independently and you're not going, your company's not sponsoring your tickets, it might be a big cost. And we still want everybody to get, the opportunity to network and get something out of it, because like some conferences can be really, can be important and can be great opportunities to, elevate your career, at least meet people. Even though I have to say, and I think this is something that I think we were chatting about. It's like the industry has changed, right? Especially for crypto right now. We can see that we're in a bear market. Like our events, our conferences, really that effective when it comes to networking. Like, is it worth going to these events? Is it worth sponsoring these events? Because like with everything, you have to also think like it's a massive budget. Like you cannot do an event with like $500. Like this is just, it's not gonna work, right? Like you need at least, it's a big budget.
Unless someone does you a favor, then 500 is impossible.
Yeah, like it requires budget. You need to pay your team travel and so on. So it's definitely something that you need to think about. And if you're an independent, let's say like freelancer, you also have to cover those costs. So I feel like especially in the markets like not super hot, it's important to decide and really study what is this year going to be looking like, from an international perspective, but also locally. And there's, some of the big events are happening in different parts of the world. So that includes a lot of traveling. But this question also comes in from the perspective of like companies, they obviously prepare the budget for the year or for the like the next 6 months ahead. Where do you allocate that money? And like, is like what works now, or at least what was working last year, might not be working today, right? So I was wondering like what is really right now, like what are the main trends? Like are conferences still the mode? Like is it still worth spending 30K for a booth and double that for like a side event, or are you better off just waiting and finding something else to do?
Yeah, I mean, it's a question that we get asked all the time, and I don't think there's a straight answer to it because it really depends again on your goals. I do think like having a booth at a conference is a really good way for you to meet a lot of people and potential clients, potential users, to speak to them, because you will have still people attending the main conference. So when they do the conference circuit, they will be there to attend, let's say, the keynote and all the different talks. And then right after, they're going to be making their rounds around the booths. So you get to talk to people, get product feedback, get to learn about them. Like, it's a great way to meet people. Is it worth 30K? I don't know what your total budget is. If your total budget is 40K, maybe don't spend 30K on the booth, because it's really, really expensive. And I understand from the conference perspective, right? Because running a conference is not cheap. It's expensive, because you are not just setting up a space, but you're thinking about the AV team, the sound team, well, the same, the F&B team, and basically everything that goes along putting that together. So they have to find a way to cover the costs. It does feel that if you are trying to get discovered as a brand, and you have, let's say, your product ready, and you want people to kind of come and test it out, maybe like collaborating with other brands and hosting a small get together might get you more ROI, because then you are kind of sharing the audience with partners and getting feedback directly. If you are a bigger brand and people already know you, and you are maybe thinking about the next phase of your product cycle, then you probably have that amount of budget to spend 30K, 40K on a booth to set it up. Because also, it's not just about setting up the booth. Your booth also needs to look cool, because that's also like the benchmark that a lot of brands are setting. So you need to find
you will
cool way.
you will be forgotten as well. There's also one thing that people forget, like you're competing for attention. It's hectic. If you go in with a small booth, you might end up spending, let's say, like 10K instead of like 30, but the amount of like inbound that you're going to get, or at least interactions, are not going to be as good, because people won't necessarily pay attention to, because you're too small. So I think this is also something that people need to think about, is like, you're better off like going all in, because and it's the same with marketing campaigns. Like, if you spend too little, you end up like losing that, and there's not enough to make an impact, and it's like really important. But I think also, like, people are tired of going to so many side events. I think having, oh yeah, by the way, I'm just gonna go through the chat. We have like Henry. Sorry guys, we've been just like talking. Henry's here, and we have Diego. Foxy's saying, I used to be a community builder and event organizer, and I couldn't be 100% engaged. Yeah, it's tiring. Like, you're giving
jacked up at the, the moment. I'm a very calm person at home. I have my routine. I'm very put together, but somehow during the conference week, even when I'm not hosting and I'm just there to represent Hype and just trying to understand what's cool and what's hot, what's not working, I am jacked up, and it's just so hard to focus. And I couldn't agree with Henry. And I don't think it's a me issue or a you issue. I think it's a most people issue. You're just so socially tapped out by the end of it.
Yeah, it's so intense. I feel like I used to always get sick after I mean, most people do. Like, you just like, get so sick after conferences, because you're just like talking to 1,000 people, not sleeping much, because like they can be quite fun as well. That's one thing at least our industry has, like, can sometimes throw fun parties. But it's just so tiring, right? Like, and we're there. It's really finding that fine line. Like, you're there for business. You need to have fun, because you don't want to be a party pooper, but at the same time, you need to have enough energy for like the next few days. Yeah, so that's kind of like I think I always like basically make a strategy in terms of like which events I'm going to be attending. But at least one of the main things that I've been hearing, at least from people, is that they want things combined. They don't necessarily want to go to like 1,000 side events competing against each other. So that's one thing. Like, if there's any brands listening, like, partner up. Like,
yeah, it's also a waste of resources, right? Having over like 200 side events, and that means there is at least 200 brands that have allocated money, at least 10K. That's an insane amount of money being poured in. And then some of them are empty, some of them are overcrowded. People are still not happy. They're getting out upset because they haven't met someone. useful, I'm sorry to use the word, but they haven't met someone, like that would actually contribute back to the reason why they were there for let's say deal making. It's just also a waste of resources, where if you just consolidate and just think kind of like larger, you can do so much more with that money.
Yeah, it's that really. It's at the end of the day, I think also what makes an event special, it's the people. Like the thing is, you can have like the most beautiful location, and end up like having a good drink, and maybe like, let's say it's like a seated dinner, you're having a good meal and so on. But if nobody there was let's say what you think of as a quality person, or at least someone that you were looking to connect with, the event isn't going to be as good. Like you might have enjoyed a good meal, but like anybody can do that on whatever day with the people they choose, right? So I think it's important to really, going back to the guest list thing, is to really make sure that you advertise your event, and like that the people that come also make sense, and like will have their own let's say like will bond and will have their own experience, like regardless of whether you as a host talk to them. And I think this is something that, especially when it comes to like babesnet events, and I see this happening, and it's beautiful. Like there's girls that meet at our events and they become friends. And this is something that, like, at the end of the day, you will always remember where you met. And this is something that you literally create a core memory there. And whether you knew the brand or not, like, you will remember them, because this is where you met that special person, or at least this is maybe where you met a friend, or where you met someone that you ended up doing business with, that led to a partnership and introduction. So there's really a big opportunity that people don't talk about, is really this idea of, like, you're creating a space where people can make memories and can create like just a future together, whatever that looks like. And I think this is also ties into the whole IRL economy discussion. People want to meet people that they can connect, and that they can like have something in common with. And I think this is why, especially in this, like, we're so hyper digitalized, and I think also Babesnet lives online. Like, we have our Telegram chat, and we have our Instagram, and we have our X account, and I think the chat is really important. But the IRL is really where people come together, and when they meet, those relationships become real. And this is something that is really important to do. But at the same time, I think we talk a lot about IRL, but if you really want to build a community, there needs to be a follow-up. There needs to be people, there needs to be a way for them to like still stay in touch in a way, like, and not just come to like one event or the other. And I think having that mix of like digital and IRL really works well, at least for us and what we're trying to do as a women community. And as obviously been, someone that's been working in crypto for a few years, like, I think all of us are pretty well positioned to know like what makes, a good foundation for growing a community, and then coming and bringing it out in the IRL. And I think it's really beautiful that we're able to do this, because people really, you can really change people's lives in a way that, like, it just improves. I think the right connections really change the trajectory of your personal and professional development. It's something that is so important to do.
I feel like that's only possible if you've had multiple touch points, right? Of course, like if you have one meeting with someone and you absolutely love this person, and you want to work with them, you want to find ways to collaborate with them, but you can only kind of like continue doing that if you have more opportunities to meet with them. So I feel like there's two ways of looking at it. So one way is, I feel like we do a lot of one-off things in crypto, and we don't do things consistently long enough to actually let it reap, like for us, like reap the benefits, right? But at the same time, it's hard and it's expensive to do the same things over and over again. So I feel like what happens is, brands would host an event, one-off event at a conference, and they would expect crazy ROI, what maybe they would get from like a social launch, and that would not happen, and they would never repeat that. But people need repeated connections and repeated touch points to be able to come together and then want doing business with you. So for example, if I've seen you at an event, let's say at 4 to 5 events throughout the year, at the end of it, I'm a lot more likely to want to work with you because I've known you, I've met you those many times. We've shared, interactions. We've had a meal together. We might have gone to a party. So I just think it's just such a human thing for it to be, and that's what I think crypto conferences enable people to do, because it allows us to travel different parts
I
of the
mean, it's always
world.
the same people.
And
It
it's the same
really
thing.
is.
That's
It's the
one
same
thing,
people
right?
everywhere.
Because at the same time, your boss like, well, why are we spending all this money to meet the same people? But at the same time, you're such a we're in such a distributed industry that you kind of need that, because if you were, let's say, a company that was only based out of, let's say, Barcelona, and you only focused on Barcelona, then you'd probably do events in Barcelona and you would have a higher conversion much faster. So yeah, I feel like when it comes to also like lead gen and like warming those connections, you need that some sort of repetitiveness for you to see that person several times before you go like, hey, I want to work with you.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing this also like in other parts of tech, like AI companies are opening up cafes. It's really nice to see actually, like they're opening up. I know like Corgi is one of them. You have Cursor. Obviously, all of them in SF. I feel like we're in the wrong continent right here, but it's okay. But it's really cool to see how marketing also evolves, because we're not just talking about events, right? Like this is like it's a marketing at this point. This is a marketing strategy. Like how do you want to, bring your product to life and have enough, build up enough momentum and awareness and hype around what you're doing. Maybe an ad campaign is not going to be necessarily enough, and we see it. Like I'm getting replit ads like every day on my IG, and I will use it, and it does work, and it really does work. But when I think about it, they're the first, like, let's say, like platform that I think about when I want to maybe experiment and build an app, as opposed to Lovable that was really hot. So it's super competitive, and you have to keep on, like, you know competing for attention and finding ways. And the thing with marketing is that what works maybe for a certain period of time works, but then everybody starts doing it, and you really hit that point where it just doesn't work anymore. And then you have to really come up with a new strategy and a new way of engaging people that feels fresh and not repetitive like everybody else. It's like the meme thing, Now everybody, when the couple, I don't remember the names, but like they went on the Empire State Building. They had their flag. They proposed. Everybody start. Did you see that?
No, which couple?
Oh my god! Wait. Yeah, on the Empire State Building.
Are we talking about like a
This was
celebrity?
no. This was like recently. They're artists actually. They're people that climb buildings. I don't know the name.
Oh wait, yes, of course. Yeah, there's a Netflix documentary on them. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So they wait. Let me bring it. What is her name? I don't remember. Oh my god.
Alexis or Alex, something to do with A.
Let's see. Does anybody remember the name? I'll bring it up on the screen. But yeah, the thing is, like, every other company started doing the same meme, like putting the flag up with their logo or whatever their, like with a phrase. That doesn't work anymore. Like it's not cool anymore. It used to be, but that doesn't cool anymore. You need to always keep moving. And that's why I can't remember who said this, but someone, yeah, I need to find this quote again. But basically, someone said, and I will find it again, that the role of a marketeer is probably one of the most difficult ones, just because you have to keep innovating, you have to keep finding new trends, and you have to have the courage to also do new things that haven't been done before, that will obviously come off as maybe crazy or too risky to your team that isn't necessarily dealing with marketing. So you're always like, and I think it's true, like good marketeers are also people that are able to communicate these ideas and sell them to their team, because sometimes it might seem crazy. Let's take the example of Corgi. They have a cafe. Like selling this idea to someone else might seem crazy. Like you're selling insurance. Why do you have a cafe? But it's actually everyone's talking about it. There is like FUD. It really created this space where people go and they're buying dogs for their offices, which is super cute and crazy. It's not something that people have necessarily done before. So you really need to, I think teams that really crack their marketing also have a founder that is open to experimenting and really having like cool things. And one of these cool things that you can do these days are events. And bringing people together. It's not new. Let's say like community and marketing through communities is not new, but it is so relevant now that just people are so, I think after COVID as well, like people just became more isolated, more online, like we're so online, but we still crave connections, and we're humans, we're social beings, and we do need to connect with people, and anyone can facilitate that will win in a good way, right?
Yeah, and then there's also a fine line, I feel, of like over engineering it, where it starts feeling very performative. Maybe you'll agree with me, but there's things that I see sometimes that companies are doing where it just feels a bit too forced or very, like I said, performative in that case, and it doesn't feel very authentic. So I just really hope it's not being seen as a trend, because like you said, like people coming together has always existed. You come together for dinners, you come together on birthdays, to celebrate festivals. We've always kind of congregated around shared interests, but it was just never done at a scale like this, and especially around like the workforce. So yeah, I don't know. Like I just feel that sometimes when I'm scrolling my X, I see some events, or like especially the ones in SF, and I feel like, what are you doing? I don't think this is needed. But yeah, I do think that we all crave IRL connection, and it's, I mean, I crave it a lot. I'm such a social person. I'm if I can spend any time outside, I will do it. And one of the biggest things I guess the dislike is like not being able to be in the same room with my team or with my leadership team, and just being able to share those ideas, or just go for a beer right after work. But I don't want to complain too much, because I love my autonomy and being at home and being able to work the way I want.
It's tough, huh?
But
Like, do you want to go into office, or do you want to keep being flexible and being able to do your laundry or whatever when, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
I mean, I go through this too, and it's like it's tough sometimes. I have to admit, like, but when I think of my life in an office and my life now, yeah, I don't know. If for honestly for the right team, for the for the right opportunity and the right team, I probably would in a nice city, but it would have to be a really sick job before I go back to not being, yeah, like I don't know.
I didn't mind my time in the office, if I can be honest. I enjoyed it a lot. It was not very. It was a fairly flexible team. I don't know. Do you remember the company Hosco?
Yes, of course.
We used to work for Hosco back in the day,
Oh no
and
way.
they were like a cool startup, hospitality tech, right? And like every day afterward, beers. It was. I had a great time. I have nothing to complain about, but I do understand it could. I don't know if I would want to wake up at the same time every single day and take the metro to go to work, and I can just save that time and be online at work here.
I think when I look back, it gave me a bit of structure. I think it's good. Like it's definitely an experience that like I wouldn't take back, and it gave me so much structure and just routine,
Yeah.
discipline, which I can now replicate for myself. And I don't think I would have been able to do like what I'm doing now if I didn't have that like military.
Hospitality schools, like we used to, I'm doing Lyon as well. We used to wear suits to school.
Oh my
We
God.
couldn't wear anything. Like we used to wear suits. They used to check our uniform every day. And this is like 18, 19-year-olds, where if you go to like other universities, you wear whatever you want.
Yeah.
And for us, like your shirt, your tie, the night before,
We
beach
would get
heels.
kicked out, like we would get kicked out of class, or like we couldn't go to like to our we would literally fail exams if we didn't have the right, like if our skirt was too short, whatever. Yeah,
I remember that.
those were the days. I would always try, I was such a rebel, like I would always try to like find piece of something that could like kind of seem like, you know, this is like pants that are like suit pants, but not shoes. Oh my God. Like,
They had the blazer and the pants, and they would never match the colors. I did that too.
yeah.
It's like points off my.
Yeah, no, it was strict. Henry, I know you were laughing, but it was very strict. Like they, you know, we would literally not be able to. We would fail the exam and fail our semester if we didn't dress properly, or if men. By the way, for the men, did you guys have this too in Les Roches, where like men would basically get like a, doctor certificate for their beards because all
Yeah.
men had to shave?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have long hair, you have to be shaved, and some guys were like, "No, I have this allergic reaction," and then all of a sudden, like 30 guys in my class had the same certificate. I guess they all know, and we're not the only semester that does that. Every single semester did it, but yeah, it was interesting days.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, funny when I think about it, because like I'm such a chaotic person, and when I think I really chose the university that I was like the most like strict and for still very fun. Obviously, I mean it was a party uni. Like we used to go out and then not sleep and go straight into class in the morning, and especially when we had like um, the practice school, like the practice classes where you had to cook and then serve. That was really fun. We would like not sleep a lot, and then wine tasting on Friday mornings. I don't know who chose that.
It was horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah, but at least we learned how to party. That was
They
pretty
don't
good.
want to complain. We used to give exams on wine and cocktail making. Like that's pretty cool. That was our biggest worry. How do you make a sidecar, or how do you make a margarita? If you don't remember the recipe, you failed the test. I'd like to have those worries again. It's my worries today.
Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, that was super fun. Honestly, not very academic, but we did learn the soft skills that ultimately are very necessary and useful. Because I think if I think about like one of the main skills, and I've been doing profiles for the babes in BabesNet, and one of the questions I like to ask is like, what's a skill that brought you forward in life that you know maybe underestimated or that you didn't really think, but ultimately was like the most useful skill that you've learned. And I think just being able to network and understanding that your network will bring you far, way more further than just your skill, and how you interact with people is so useful. And ultimately, everything is about people. Like everything is
Yeah.
about the energy that you bring in, because people want to work with people that they like and that they vibe with. And it's maybe not, fair in a sense that like that's what we're taught, that if you're good at something or if you're smart you will get the job. But this is just how it is. Like your skills might get you through the door, but if you want to progress, it's your people skills. Like you need to develop a EQ, like a really high EQ, if you want to progress within your career, because ultimately at a certain level, you know at a certain level it's all about your network, the people, how you can interact, you can like talk to clients. It's less about the execution. So it's super important to really nail that down, and improve on those skills. And this can be just anybody can do it. Obviously some people are just more empathic in a certain way or have a higher EQ, have more self-awareness. But I think ways to develop that are, first of all, being aware there's books you can read. I think the father of EQ is, what's his name? Daniel Goleman. Let me see if I can find the book. Wrote this book about emotional intelligence.
I feel like a lot of the emotional intelligence was for me developed because I was like La Roche and Lyon by default, they're such international schools, right? Like you have over 30 nationalities in your classroom at any given semester. So you have to kind of learn the basic fact that not everyone's perfect in English, and they all come from like different schools of thought, and like just because you think things one way doesn't mean that they were raised the same way, and you have to kind of be very empathetic towards it. And then of course going from there and working in mainstream in hotels, you're constantly dealing with guests from different nationalities, and I feel like crypto does translate that so beautifully because you're working with distributed teams. Not all of them are from the same background. You're meeting them at conferences that are being hosted at different parts of the world. So there's like a third factor in like third variables, that is you're from a place, your clients are from one place, and then you're meeting a third place. So it's just so many different variables there that it just kind of teaches you by default to be empathetic. I hope it does.
Yeah, I think it does. I mean, 100% it does. It really opens the world outside of yourself. And like you said, to be able to communicate with people from, different parts of the world that have different customs of way of doing, like even like when you're selling to people, like you're not going to be selling in the same way from someone that's from the US or to someone that is European or British. It's just that, and understanding and having that flexibility that there are people that are different than you, and really adapting to that and being able to communicate. I think it's a skill that will bring you so far in life. And it's definitely the reason why, like, ultimately I'm glad I chose that university, because developing your soft skills are super important. This is really what they encouraged. But again, like, anyone can do this, and just obviously exposure is number one. Reading books about emotional intelligence and psychology books can be really important as well. Like, you can really develop a certain like level of self-awareness. But yeah, just know that there are so many resources out there, but ultimately once you have the theory, you have to obviously practice. Let me show the people like where we went. Wait, Lyon, there it is. It's pretty cool when I think about it. Have you visited the campus?
No, I was in Marbella. I do not like the cold. I want to stay far away from the cold.
Yeah, it was cold. Like sometimes like we were literally slipping on, why is it not like, we were literally like slipping on frozen so much. Pretty cool. It looked like a castle in the Marbella was fun as well. I heard like it was a pretty party place.
Yeah, my parents realized it a bit too late. When they came to drop me off and I was 17, they were like, oh, this is where you study. I'm like, all right, well, that. See you later. Bye. But
I mean,
okay, like
they
I
sent you
was,
to
I was
I mean, that's the thing. Like, they send you to Marbella. Like, it's obviously, even us in Montreux, when there was like one club, we managed to just turn into like a party place. But again, like, there's such a, not a stigma on party people, but if you think about it, being a party girl, like, the party girls are, in terms of like as an archetype, I would say, and a persona, are
yes.
are like your next marketer or your next networker. They're so valuable, and they will have skills that you cannot teach. Like, the party girl will know who's who, and will know how to talk to strangers, and
I'm not
will
embarrassed to have a conversation. Like, yes.
you know they'll know how to entertain, they'll know how to be a good host, they'll know how to be fun and light, and they'll know what to do because they've spoken to so many strangers, and they'll also know how to behave if they had a few glasses, which is also very important, because when people go to these events and conferences and they get wasted, no, you cannot do this, right? So they know how to balance thing, right? So ultimately, I think the party girl is definitely a very underrated profile, or like archetype, that I think later on in life they will be able to redeem themselves, and they will rise, and they will gain what they want, and they will be able to, I think, grow in a role much faster than people that like don't, just because they've had these social skills, and they know how to get through on the guest list. They know how to leverage their connection. They know how to fake it. They know how to fake it, that they're like, that they're not 18 yet, and they'll just go and like,
Hustlers.
yeah, they hustle. Exactly. Wait, what is maxing? Also, your network is your network more than your soft skills. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Your network is your network. Like, it will open doors, especially at a high level. Like, it is all about who you know. And there's literally people that, I mean, besides, we were talking about being an event planner, not planner, but like curator, or what's the name of? They have all fancy names these days for these roles, but
Designer, IRL, curator, experiential person. Yeah, they're all doing the same thing.
let me see if we can find those roles. What are like the
IRL architect was one that I also I read somewhere. Yeah, that was crazy. I think my ex got flooded by all those roles, like in February. All of them SF based. I'm like, what the hell is happening? And like back to back to back. That was an interesting time. And I looked at it and like it was crazy what they were offering and what they wanted to do. But at the same time, it kind of makes sense. You have to form a community somehow, right? And those brands kind of like wanted to do it offline.
100%, 100%, and it's also one of the things like for all these AI companies, the money is in the B2B, and that
Mm.
is clear, but your B is going also to market to grow. Will need also
I don't know about you guys. I can't hear Camille.
yeah.
Yeah, you're like chopping off.
I'm chopped. Can you guys hear me?
Much better.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's my mic. I think I moved it. Why is this not loading? I cannot go on careers. Ah, yeah, no, it was on it. Yeah, so in terms of like new strategies, like yes, there is definitely the IRL, but again, why is the IRL so important as well? Is because all these companies have understood that in order to, and not maybe not all of them, but like a lot of them are doing B2B. They're taking a B2C approach. And again, they need to organize these events and so on and bring people together and have users. They have freemiums, free versions, and ultimately like the people, the users will be their marketing because they will be the ones that talk, and then through them they can build a community and ultimately reach the decision makers and the people that they can actually sell their product to. But building that trust these days also requires you to have that approach. I think it's one of the new strategies these days, especially for these companies, is to actually, even if you're B2B, you're going down the B2C route as well.
I think it's also part of brand marketing, right? Like you are thinking about what are some ways that I can show up as a brand. I can create like brand recall for people as much as possible. And if you are, like just a digital only company, then you want to find ways to do that. I'm going to take a really different example here. I mean, Revolut. I remember like back in the day, like Revolut just started and like N26 was like crushing it in Barcelona. I was like an N26 user. And then at some point N26 kind of like went down, Revolut took over the market share. And then their strategy went all like, let's go start sponsoring festivals. Let's start creating payment ways where if you use Revolut to buy your Primavera or Sonar tickets, you're going to get it for like 20 euros cheaper, 30 euros cheaper. So they really kind of became present, and then they started having Revolut stage at some point at brunch in the city. It's just a way to again also do like brand marketing. Like how do we show up as a brand? And yes, we're forming communities, but how can we create those touch points that makes our brand tangible and gets people really excited about our brand and to want to post content around us as well.
Yeah, and that works. Like you're literally, I mean, the power of association is so it's really powerful. And but also it really requires to have a team that's switched on in terms of, what are the cultural events that are relevant to our brand, and I can also like just position ourselves and be cool, be cool in the eyes of a certain audience that you want to reach. I think Red Bull is definitely one of the most like the biggest examples of these type of companies that are just like doing really cool
You know the brand Rituals?
rituals.
from Netherlands. The
Yeah,
the
the cosmetic brand. This.
Yeah. So they have this thing called House of Rituals in Amsterdam, which is like this amazing experience, spa room, house kind of a thing, where you can just go and get treatments, and all the products that are being used are by
I
rituals.
didn't
And then
know.
the ritual pod, which you can find in Amsterdam airport. So if you ever have a layover, you want to make sure that you find the ritual pod at the airport, and you go in, and basically you have like this virtual sleep pod where you just go inside for like 20 minutes. You have like a quick rejuvenation therapy with like sound and like massage, and then all the scent, like basically, so your like audio, touch, and smell all are engaged with like everything rituals. And they give you a little blanket. All of this you can kind of experience at the airport, which I think is a really good way to do brand marketing as well, and to introduce the world their products. Coach does something very similar as well. I think they do insane out of home activations. In the end, they are, like they're a luxury brand. They have tangible products, but they still find ways to make the coach experience as fun as possible. Oysho does something very similar as well. So Oysho has these partner communities in Europe. I don't know if they've done that outside of Europe yet, but if you just go on Oysho's website, and then they have, I think it's called Partner Studios, or like Oysho Community or something, and there you go choose your city. So imagine, Camille, you use Antwerp, or you choose Lisbon. You can go find which are the yoga studios or the run or like gyms
Oh,
that they've
sick.
partnered with, and you can go attend their sessions for free, which I think is really cool. So I feel like all brands are trying to find a way to make their brand, a bit more tangible, and like build community around IRL. And they do it in a very tasteful way, which I would love to see being done in crypto somehow. Of course, like completely different products, but there's ways. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
different products, but at the end of the day, if you look at the profile of your customer, like this person, yes, they use your product. Maybe let's say it's an exchange, they trade. Um, they have like certain habits and so on. Like they invest in a certain way. They're looking for a certain like outcome, or they need something. But this person also has other needs, right? Like, and obviously, I'm not talking about people that are just like in front of their computers and live in their mom's basements. But generally, people have also other needs than making money, which ultimately is most of what our industry does. Whether it's through gambling or DeFi, investing, like whatever it is, it's about money. Like once you have achieved that, like, that person will also maybe want to go to the gym, or they're looking for a partner, or they like good food. Like there's obviously, it's like a spectrum in terms of like customer profile. And I think what makes a good brand activation is really figuring out, okay, what is your core customer, and like what are also their other types of interests. Just like Revolut is like, promoting Primavera Sound, or the brunches and so on. These are like party events. So they also think, okay, the people that might use our product, our banking system service, they also like to party, and it's really fun to do this. I think if a brand has the possibility of grow beyond, they're just like small niche at a later stage, of course, like they will be able to grow and give way more, because at this stage, I think customers, they don't want just, they don't want just the product itself. Like if you really build a relationship, with a brand, like this brand needs to give you more, just like a person in a sense. Like you're gonna have to cater to more of their needs than just providing them that one bikini
And
or.
I also don't think like just giving away merch is a solution. It's like you said, it's like a really beautiful, like a Venn diagram where it kind of meets in the middle of product, purpose, community, common interests. That's gonna make people go like, oh, so nice, like great experience.
Yeah, like the merch needs to be good. Like you have to think about it. Like you really have to think about it. And obviously, yeah, when we did our keys, like we really, Flo was amazing at it because like we really thought on like something that could be useful. We got inspired by some of the fashion week invitations, like we saw, and also this idea of like having a charm, something you can. We really combined a lot of things to it. But the thing is, and I hope, and for we see like people don't throw them away, but like if this happens, it's not good for your brand because like psychologically they're throwing your brand in the trash, and it's better not to do merch and do limited items like high quality than like just shitty things that people will just not want to keep. If you look at now, like the secondary market on OpenAI's merch, by the way, is going crazy. Wait, I saw
Wait,
this
can you pull it up? I want to see it.
merch store, and it's sellout. Wait, where is it? Yeah. High Sobriety is saying is like shitting on it. Wait, here you go. Oh my god. What do you
I don't
think?
know.
Would you buy this? I mean, it's cute. Here.
I would buy it in the sense like I wouldn't buy it because it's from OpenAI. I would buy it like I would buy the piece of article, if that makes sense.
The OpenAI socks.
Like I literally have the same sweater from Uniqlo. I don't know if I want that logo on my chest, on my left side.
This is for by the way, it's like an employee only store, but apparently, like I was saying, like the secondary market for OpenAI merch is yeah, it's going crazy. Like people are just reselling this. What is it saying here? Just quickly tag. Didn't realize. And didn't realize that aping the supremely played out Aimé Léon Doré aesthetic does not, in fact, bequeath the same qualities that made the original interesting. Oh, they're calling it like a copy. They're being harsh. They're being.
Would you buy it? I want to know.
No, actually, the thing is, babe, like we get so much work at these events. Like I could not see this as merch. I've done too many conferences. I've done like way too many of these conferences, and I've given away too much merch, and I've now have a zero merch policy. I just feel weird when I wear merch. I generally feel weird.
I feel like if it's just not adding, if it's just not nice, and I feel like yes, nice is such a subjective feeling when, especially when you're looking at your own merch, you're so biased and you're thinking, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. But I would love to see no merch at an entire conference. Or just like really fun, cute stuff. And I feel like you can do so much if you collaborate with like artists out there, like that are not in crypto, like outside of crypto artists. You pick one who's really awesome, like from I don't know Paris. You get them to do like really collab, like cool doodle work on your totes, and then you do that, and then you kind of like drop that. I think it has a lot more meaning than just pasting your logo on a jersey and like expecting people to just take it, and then you end up wearing it to a run club, and then it ends up being in the trash. Like for example, can you pull up Agathe Soleil from on Instagram if you can? Like for example, I would love to work with
Send me
her,
the link.
Agathe.
That's Sole. Let's see.
Let me find it. Here you go. Where to drop it? Just here in chat?
Yeah, on Telegram, and I'll share it here.
Okay. Here you go. So for example, like working with her to do like a really cool summer edition of a tote for a brand, like working with actual like cool creators and then produce fun merch could be a really interesting way of elevating your merch.
That's really cute. Yeah, if you have the budget, of course, because that's one thing. Yeah. These are really cute.
I mean, it's just her. Like, there's so many. There's like, I think Coolman, Coffee Dan.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
there's so many others that you
We did
can
that
collaborate
too. Now that I think about it, it wasn't like a custom piece, but for our event in New York, let me put it up. We basically gave flowers, plushy flowers from an artist. XYZ. Is this our? Yes, here it is. Oh no, I need to sign up. But anyways, if you go on our Instagram, you can see we basically we gave flowers from CJ Henry, which is she's an Australian artist, and she made these plushy flowers, and we had a flower making workshop with these little flowers that are art pieces.
Very cute.
Flower shop, CJ Henry. Let me show you. Yeah, it's these like bouquets.
Love it.
Yeah, here you can see. So this is something we did, and it was, I think, like really cool. Also, kind of like unexpected. Like you want to surprise people with things of value, and I think, I mean, I personally love these flowers, and we were thinking, like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? Obviously, making good merch takes time, and we were running. This was like a very last minute thing, and we just thought of doing this, and look, so cute. And everybody got home with a piece of art and a little card. Yeah, we also had everyone that attended basically write like a little word of encouragement to a stranger, and then we just shuffled them, and everybody picked their own, and it was.
Don't you feel the fact that we take, as an industry, like all these decisions to show up at conferences so last minute is also just like, it's just not good, because I feel like it doesn't give you any time to plan. It doesn't give you any time to do things properly. I would say
Yep.
that yes, we've become all masters of doing things last minute, and we still do a great job. But if you see some of the best activations around, like those, like good things really take time to plan, like good tasteful things. If you just had the vision for it a bit like in advance and just made your mind, yeah, I think one thing that I would love to change about our industry, because that really impacts what you end up doing and how efficiently you end up allocating, how efficient you end up spending your money. Because you've thought it through and you've planned it out. Even like with product, you don't launch a product overnight or like in a week. You take time, you think about it, and you build it. And then it's the same thing. You don't, why are you making decisions about showing up at a conference 4 weeks in advance, and then you want to blow everybody's mind in 3 weeks timeline?
Well, I don't have the answer to that question yet, but it happens. Apparently, it's like a thing. It is a thing. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, we did like, so we've also been working with non-crypto related projects, and we did a work around Watches and Wonders in Geneva, which is one of the biggest industry events for watch and watchmakers. The stages were so beautiful. It was like wood, like, oh my god, it just made me feel so shit about what we, what we do. It was so gore. Obviously, different budgets, but so beautiful, just so elegant, incredible, incredible. Different industry, of course. Like you're in luxury, so the bar is high, and we cannot expect tech to do the same. But it really opened my eyes to just seeing how little effort we do. And I think it's also one, it's just, yeah, like you say, like the disorganization, but also, yeah, maybe there's too many events, there's too many of these events, and people don't really push that
Not the
much
bandwidth.
for, yeah.
No, for sure. But then I think that's where selection comes into play. I have like a completely different perspective on like too many events. So I do agree too many events, because like we end up wasting a lot of resources because companies want to show up everywhere. But I do feel that for a lot of people, they don't have the means to travel to New York or to London or to Cannes. And I think for them, the localized event, like whatever they can kind of find within their country, is like the best that they can do, which is also a way for us making sure that everybody has access to the same speakers, the same people. So yeah, I don't know if I have a direct answer to like if it's a good thing or a bad thing having too many conferences, but I do feel that it having at least like some kind of like local conference scene of sort really helps people who just can't afford to travel being able to, yeah, make it through.
Yeah. No, I mean that. Yeah, it makes sense. You need a bit, but for the big ones, at least the ones that people like really FOMO and feel like they need to be at. It's a lot. It's a lot of traveling as well. Oh my god. But at least like things are shifting, and I feel like hopefully one of the things, like crypto has always had its own culture, but at least we're seeing just other trends at least like come into our industry and change things, also the way that we do, the way people, what people expect and so on. I think it's something that's like really nice to see. And I think also what people really want is changing. Like we're having, for now, we're very digital, we're hyper digital industry, but the rest of the world wants to go analog. Yeah, I was walking in Antwerp actually, and being in Dubai, obviously things come a bit later. So it's not like these trends. Let's say like the trends, the cool things, like it tend to come like a little bit later in Dubai. Like it's not really. Yeah, you won't find like a listening room in Dubai
Yet.
yet at some point, hopefully. But it's a new thing, or like reading parties where people just go to read, and I think it's really cool. I saw one in Antwerp the other day. And I think it's these new like trends, where people want to gather and be offline together. It's like pretty fun and nice.
Did you go, or you
No,
just kind of see them?
I was just passing by, and they were having like an event, and I wasn't sure at first. I didn't realize what it was because like I've only heard about it or seen it on while scrolling. I'm a big brain rotter. I scroll a lot, but I had never seen one in real life because I just come back from Dubai. I thought it was really cool, like listening.
Porto has a huge, huge listening party scene. We have amazing listening bars. And I think the most important thing about a listening bar is to have excellent speakers, and like really high quality speakers. Otherwise, it's just at this point, just don't open a listening bar. And having an insane collection of records and music, and having again like a curator who can kind of make sure that he's setting the vibe. And Porto has this one place called Fiasco, which is a place I go every other week, and
Nice.
they get these different DJs who are not allowed to DJ, so to speak, but they are supposed to kind of go through their insane library, which has I think over 500 different records, and kind of curate the music using that. And you go there, you order your cocktail or your pizzas, and you just exist, and you spend time talking to people, or you go read a book. And I think it's just fantastic. It's one of my favorite things to do, is to go to a listening bar.
It looks really, honestly, I want to experience this because I've never experienced a listening bar, and I'm a big music
I feel like
fan.
Dubai should have, like, they have one of everything at this point.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it will come at some point. Like, there's definitely some cool place. There's definitely a few cool places that are a bit more like underground, where you can have food and listen to music. But
There is one called Honeycomb Hi-Fi in the downtown.
That's the one I was thinking. The one and only. No, I mean, there's some other places, but that's the one where people go. Oh wait, I want to sing "Read and Relax." Let's see.
Let me send you this one.
Sebastian is saying "Read and Relax." Hello from LinkedIn, by the way. So cool. We're live on LinkedIn. We are live on LinkedIn, which, by the way, LinkedIn is one of the most underrated social media platforms if you want to grow professionally. Everybody's heard of, GEO, SEO. Guess where they take that information from? Like if you go on an LLM, they're going to pull up your LinkedIn. So yeah, pretty good. The only problem with that is that it's like just full of slop. Like most of it's just literally just like slop with talking to slop. So bad.
I was talking to my colleagues the other day because I started cleaning up my LinkedIn because I hadn't spent a lot of time on it. I was just spending all the time on X. And I was like, man, it's just the most brutal thing to do is to just clean up your LinkedIn and to
So
like
bad.
follow the right people so your feed starts looking better. And it's so hard. It's by far the hardest thing I've done this year. Is to just like, oh my God, how do I stop unfollowing this person and start following the right people? You're right, it's just slop. And if you have any tips on how to do it, I would like to know because it's like shit right now.
I don't know. I just keep posting. I just keep doing my thing, and honestly, I think in terms of like, um, yeah, like tips for LinkedIn is to keep it short. Like people don't want to read. You need to optimize your content for a short form because as soon as it's like a chunk of text, like you cannot expect people to give you your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just one thing. Like you cannot have that ego of like saying that people will have literally 2 minutes of their day that they will spend on
Me.
my. Yeah, exactly. Like nobody cares. Sorry, unless you have something like really hot, but it's hard to keep it up, right? So just keep it short, keep it real. Like don't just write it yourself instead of writing with an LM. Like people can tell. Honestly, you can like improve as much as you want. Um, yeah, you can literally prompt and like just prep your LLM and try to set it up to make it sound as you as possible, but we're not there yet. I do have to say like sometimes the output is good, but it's like a writing assist. It's not there yet where I can like fully trust it and say, okay, write me a tweet for this or write me a post. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It does give me good insights and it helps me structure things, but I'm not at the point where, yeah, and I use it every day. I use it every day, but I cannot rely on it for tweets.
Tried making like this little bot, so to speak, to that like learned a lot about the way I write and well, should be able to like learn more as much as I could feed it data. And at some point it should just make no mistakes. And it forgets. It
Yeah.
forgets. And it's like, okay, no, I just have to write everything by myself. So yeah, I use it, a lot for putting my thoughts together. But then once I have those thoughts together, I just kind of like rewrite that in my own words because anything that I'm putting in lately, I don't know about you, but it just sounds the same. And it sounds like every other thing that I read online. And I'm like, I cannot have this by tone of voice.
Yeah, it's
It's not.
inevitable. It's really inevitable. And the thing is, anyone that's going to come up to you and say that, they're going to try to sell you a bot or they're going to try to sell you a course and they're going to claim that, they automate all their content and all their content, and you can do this with AI, they're lying. They're lying. Like they are just
Yeah.
pure lying. So don't fall
Don't
for these. Yeah, it's not a skill issue. It's an LLM issue and we're not there yet. So don't fall for this bullshit. Like people will try to sell you things, especially if you're not sure. Of course, like you can like courses on how to learn how to use AI can be useful, but do not fall in the trap that like anything and everything can be done and it's the new cure for cancer, because it's not. It still needs a lot of monitoring and bug fixing if you're building stuff. Like you're gonna be bug fixing for the rest of your days if you're building a bot. Like, you know what I
totally.
mean? So like, yeah, it's not a fixed and job done, but it can help you be more productive. That's for sure. But again, people that say I have like 50 agents running in the background, I'm like, oh my god, I'm not believing
I
it.
feel like I write every single day. Like my learning curve is just like all the time, all the time, which is a great thing because like it keeps me on my toes. But I never feel like, oh, I know what I'm doing. I always feel like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. I need to learn more. I need to learn more.
Yeah, no, it's and there's always a new release and there's always a new program and there's always like new prompt and stuff. Like it's a lot of anxiety and the people and that's also something that I find with these like AI influencers. They also don't really, sometimes they're not helpful. They really create this FOMO of like, this is what I would do if I needed to make 10K this month, whatever. And it's like, I would go here and I would create this channel and I would automate and I would create like kids channel, but they don't tell you that. And I saw this this TikTok yesterday of this girl that, you know, was promoting this. It was like, you know, if I had to buy a BMW tomorrow, like this is what I would do. And then they go and they show you how they create a series of 3D stories for kids using like fully AI. The problem is what they don't tell you is that, first of all, the CPM on kids videos is really low on YouTube. Second, AI is, it's really tough to get monetized on AI, and also you're gonna burn through your credits. And by the time you make it, like you need marketing. It's not that simple. Like it's not that simple. They don't tell you this. They just show you, like they make you FOMO that you're not doing stuff, you know. And then, you know, if you were to follow what you were doing, you would be really burning money. So that's one thing I think that people don't necessarily know. And of course, if you haven't tried it yourself, it's hard to get there. But a lot of the things that you maybe may seem like educational are not, and are not helpful. And people should really trust their instincts. And if something is not really working, if after you've really improved your prompt for so long and things keep breaking, it's just how it is. It's, it's maybe not a you issue. You know what I mean? We're just not there yet. But still, it's good to be learn that skill and just go.
Definitely. Learning
And-
a little bit every
Yeah,
single
and thank God we're not in SF, because I don't know what life would be like there. With everybody, I don't know. I'm in between the whole. Honestly, I FOMO really hard on SF and being in the US, but then I go from like mega FOMO to, oh my God, I could never live there. Like, yeah, we were just joking about it with like Flo. It's like, yeah, to pay insane rent to live in a shoebox with like 5 devs. Like no.
No, and I wouldn't give up the European like quality of life or anything. I really wouldn't. I really like it here.
I do miss Europe a bit, to be honest. Like, especially now,
Yeah, I've been in Dubai for.
like 3 years. But I think after like the war happened and so on, like it just kind of things shifted a little bit, and
Yeah.
and it slowed down and so on. And so also I was coming to a point where I didn't feel inspired anymore. Again, like when you're creating so much, when you're like yeah, when you're just like in a creative flow and you're creating, for example, like events, or at least like, you know, our community, and we're always trying to create new things, experiences, things, and you're always trying to really put energy out in the world and like transform and put it out. It's, I found myself like not being inspired. I feel like there's, you know, it's not diverse enough for me to really feel like inspired. And I really miss that cultural immersion in Dubai. Yes, I feel like I really miss that cultural immersion that I found here in Europe. So being back for a bit was really important. I think just being in nature for me is something that also, you know, it's there's no substitute for that. And the desert, of course.
I mean, tomatoes that taste like tomatoes and not like, you know.
No, I mean now I'm in the countryside. I'm like living the simple life, you know, picking tomatoes and onions, like. But yeah. Ooh, hello, Starkey. Yeah, I know it's been a while. I took a little break. Like I was saying, I left Dubai for the summer and been just, you know, in Europe for a bit, and it feels really good. And I think it's something, Dubai has so many opportunities. It's really a city that just like moves very fast. But when it comes to like
Yeah.
creating and feeling inspired and really, because ultimately you want to look at trends, you want to look at like what's hot and so on. I feel like that doesn't really come, at least for me in Dubai, and it's hard to feel inspired. And I really needed this like
Thing.
whole.
I have the opposite. Like I had like the complete opposite impression. So I lived in Dubai for like 8 months. Did my first internship there from Larash.
I know you know Consti, by the way.
Yes, I do. How do you know him?
We went to school. We actually went to high school together. He's the reason why I went to Lyon.
But wait, so you grew up in Greece?
No, in Belgium. But
Wait, Conti was in Belgium?
yeah, he did his high school. He grew up in Belgium. He's Greek, but yeah. So we went to the same high school, and I was meant to do a gap year, and then my gap year didn't really like happen. And so it's just like looking for like things to do. And Consti already started Glion, and he told me about it, and that's how I ended up in Glion. Basically, it's because of him. Thanks to him, obviously. Yeah.
an internship with him. I think he was the management trainee at Atlantis Palm, and I was the F&B trainee there. But yeah, I've always felt the complete opposite because I have like a huge friend circle from there because my partner, like he was living and working between Saudi and Dubai, and like I've like a fairly large network, and I always felt like that's where like a lot of the trends for like social kind of thrive with like Snapchat, TikTok, and it's interesting that you don't feel that way.
I think for the creativity part, I miss walking in the streets and looking at beautiful architecture. I think it's, I mean, it might be different
Inspiration.
for different people, but I really draw inspiration from my environment. And I love just being able to pop into a museum or just walking into a beautiful street and seeing a historical building. I'm like close to Rome right now. So just, it's really hot, but still, I'm going to go into town and just walk around, and just seeing beauty is something that really recharges me, and then I'm able to get inspired with that. Like I get new ideas, or maybe like new designs, new experiences, and so on. And Dubai is just, it's a different energy. So Dubai is amazing once you have that, once you're full and you go back to Dubai, then you're able to execute, and things go so fast. Like things are so fast paced, and you're able to move and create new partnerships. And I mean, we did an event with Lululemon, uh, you know what I mean? Like, and it's just like something that isn't something that would be as simple to do here, just because also these companies don't have as much budget as they would for the Middle East, or just things are just faster, right? If you were to talk a partnership deal in France, you'd be talking for a year. In Dubai, it's very
Yeah.
fast. So it's great.
You know what I'd love to see as well, that how we can maybe see more crypto brands partner with the non-crypto brands and like do something really cool. Something that I really wanted to kind of check out was, if I'm not still sure if I'm going to do Def Connect, but if I do, it's like home for me, right? Like Mumbai. And I would love to work with like some indie brands like Indie Wild, which is like this amazing cosmetics company, to do like some really cool product placement at one of the events that we end up doing. So I would love to see like the merge of both, because I feel like there's so much that you can kind of extract from like both communities. When I say the word extract, I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean it in a very positive way. Um, I would love to see that, and and I feel like we just don't. We always think about our own little bubble and circle, but I would like to see more.
Is it this one?
Um,
Is it
yes,
Ayurvedic? Oh, no.
yeah, yeah. So like I would love to see more like cool grassroots brands and like do something with them to, and then bring that community, like maybe imagine having them do a pop-up at a Shifi summit, or like having them do something with the Babesnet event. I think that would be really cool. I just feel like we just don't think about, when we immediately think of, hey, where do we go for partnerships or sponsorships, we just don't think about, there's a full world that exists outside of crypto, and they have audiences. They're also looking for knowledge. They're looking for ways to understand crypto, and how can we kind of make those two worlds meet. That would be really cool to do.
I mean, if you do an activity, we've also been talking to some.
Cami, you cut off again. I don't hear you.
Hello, hello. Testing. Are you back? Is it working? Yeah? Okay. I think it's my mic. I'll keep like moving it. But yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, there's so much cool things you can do. I'm really excited. I would love to go back to India. I was there for a wedding in February. It was so nice, but I didn't have time to like Udaipur and Jaipur. So between
Nice.
both,
Very nice.
yeah, like
How,
super nice. It was a Glion wedding
many-
actually,
how many days was the wedding?
the whole week.
Nice. Did you do all the sangeet, the mehndi, and the shoe stealing? Did you do all
The
of
shoe
those
stealing,
things?
yeah, the shoe stealing was really cute. It was super nice. Yeah. It was really cute. Ostark is saying, I think being in Europe is best for right now. I have to go to Bahrain soon for a gem show, and most people are dropping out. I'm going to Surat at the end of the week. Ooh.
Surat is in India as well.
Yeah, Ostarki is working in, you have a jewelry brand. He has a jewelry brand and is in gems and diamonds. So yeah, a lot of precious stones in India. That's nice. We've been going like way over. I know we said we would do this. I know we would do this like an
I
hour.
canceled my class before because I was like, I don't think we're gonna finish at 5:30. I think this is gonna go on. So I was like, I'm not coming to CrossFit today. So
I feel like
but
also there's still so much that we have to talk about.
maybe we can do like a part 2 of the stream.
Yeah, I think we should do a part 2. It's like, but yeah, no, let's definitely plan a part 2 because like there's so many things that like I think would be so interesting to go on and share and talk about. Like I can talk about this for hours. But yeah, this was like really fun. And again, like I miss, you know what? Like I felt like, oh, it's so nice to take a break from streaming. You know, I don't have to like just gonna take a break, go offline a bit and stuff. And now I'm just like, oh my god, I miss it so much. Can't stop me from talking.
I mean, you
Like,
carry your equipment everywhere you go, so clearly, I don't think you're gonna stop. I think
No,
you're
no.
always ready.
Yeah, exactly. So whenever you want to do part 2, let me know, and then yeah, can see that. And for everybody that was with us today, thank you so much. This has been like super fun. All the babes, we love you so much. And yeah, stay tuned. I haven't got like a date yet on when the next will be, but very soon. We'll do one very soon. Is there any last words before we close off? Do you have anything that, or maybe that we didn't cover that?
Make sure this summer you go to an event, go to a festival, go to a listening party, go to a book reading club. I don't know, go to an event, enjoy the summer, and yeah, the connections that you make IRL are so beautiful. Enjoy the summer.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye. We're gonna go. Let me just find a song for you all. And yeah, stay tuned for more. And don't forget to follow Ipshita and myself and Babes and everything that you see here. And we will be posting some updates for our next stream whenever that will be. So bye, everyone.
Sacrificing my time to get a hold of you. Ooh, sacrifice.